Welcome back. Today we're going to be making ice packs. We're going to make them out of soft, warm flannel, uncooked rice, or you could use uncooked dried beans, uncooked elbow macaroni, anything that will freeze and retain the heat. Now, I don't like to use frozen vegetables because to me, once they thaw out, what, do you refreeze them? Can you eat them afterwards? So to me, this makes sense. So this is what we're going to make. An ice pack with chambers to keep the rice under control. Now, you can use, there are a number of ways you can do this. You could get a clean sock and pour the rice in it, tie it off, throw it in the freezer, and you can use it then. And it would perform just like this. It would lay over and around the place you need it to be. Whereas a regular ice bag that you get, a cloth one with ice cubes in it, is going to be bumpy and lumpy. This molds to the body part, and I really like mine. There's no chemicals involved. It's a food product and a fabric and string. You don't have to worry as you would if you were using ice cubes in a plastic bag that they leak. When the ice cubes thaw, they leak. You have water where you don't want water. And so there's just no fuss, no muss. And it's recommended that you leave an ice pack on for approximately 20 minutes and remove it. Well, that's about as long as the coldness lasts in the rice, is about 15 to 20 minutes. You can fall asleep without any worries about it. At least I do. And when I wake up, the pain is subdued. The rice is not leaking anywhere, and I can just remove it and put it in the freezer, grab another one if I need to, or just get on with what I'm doing. I think I really like mine. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to show you how I do this. So you can cut it to whatever size fabric you want, whatever size ice pack you want, whatever shape ice pack you want it. The variables are endless. It's your choice. So I chose this cute, warm flannel, and we're going to sew it right sides to right sides. And we're going to sew it, because I have the fold here, we only need to sew it on two sides, an end and a long side. We're going to leave one end open so we can turn it around and we can fill it with the rice, and then we'll stitch it shut at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this and turn it inside out, and we'll come back. I'm going to sew it with about a 1/2 inch margin all the way around. I'm going to get up to this point. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to turn it around and restitch it. So it will be stitched twice, because you don't want the rice to find a small hole and work its way out through the hole. So I'll stitch this and then we'll be right back. All right, I have it sewn. I've turned it inside out, and I've pinned my edges to lie flat. Because I want to top stitch to give it the seams a little more reinforcement against rice working its way out. And because this is the fold of the fabric, I'm still going to top stitch that, so I will have 3 sides top stitched. I'm not going to start all the way to the end, because I need to have allowance up here to fold this in to make a nice smooth edge too. So I'll go ahead and stitch this, and then we'll come back and we'll start filling. So we have it top stitched. So let's take our pins out, and then we'll need to decide where we're going to have our chambers, so that when we pour in the rice, we can make a chamber. Because if you were to leave it without a chamber, the rice is going to go all over, just like here. See, here's one without a chamber, so the rice just goes wherever it wants to. So to make it, need to put it in chambers so it stays. So to do that, where we stopped our top stitching down here, we're going to fold it to find the halfway mark. So we're going to pin that, and then where this end meets the middle, we're going to fold that and mark it. And then where the top stitch ends, we're going to fold that to the middle and mark it. These are going to be our chambers. So it should look like that. We'll have 4 chambers. So we'll open it up and pour in some rice, enough to where the bottom chamber is as full as we want it. So okay, it's all sewed shut. I folded these edges in, sewed it twice, and I have another very nice ice pack that's going to cover the whole joint. So now I have 2, a bigger one and a smaller one. But I have some rice left over here. So I got 2 ice packs out of a 1-pound bag of rice. And I have some rice in this one. And I'm going to make another one in a square. So I'm going to look for some nice flannel and we'll come right back. Okay, I have some nice checkered flannel. So I cut it about this long, and I'm going to sew 2 sides, turn it inside out, and then top stitch it all the way around, just like we did the other ones. But the only thing is, for this one, I'm only going to make it 2 chambers, because this will be more like a compress like that. So I'll go ahead and I'll stitch this. All right, so I have the outer edges all sewn. I did the top stitching around all 3 sides. This side, the bottom, and this side, I left the top open. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sew the center compartment seam right down the middle of it, and then when I fill it with rice, it will already be sectioned off. So let's just go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to just kind of go right down this line to try and get it in the middle of it. Okay, because I stopped here because this is where I did the top stitching over there. Now we're going to turn it around. We're going to go back down it. And we have our center seam done. Now you're probably wondering why I did it this way with the seam here, and I didn't do it that way with these, because we filled from the end and we had to work our way up. This, we're just making the seams this way, so this would work on something like across the top of your knee, across the small of your back, on your hip joint, just a big thing across your elbow. This will have usage for bigger achy joints. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this with our rice, trying not to make a mess. Okay, I have my chambers filled. So what I'm going to do, because it's not going to work to give it a nice smooth finish because I top stitched here, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it over to seal that in. And then I'm going to fold it once more to make it tight. So then I'll pin it because the rice can't get out because of the many folds. And then we'll sew it in multiple layers or multiple locations. There. All right, so let's just go ahead and stitch this. And there we go. For the price of a bag of rice, which was under $1, I have got 3 nice ice packs. I have a 2-chambered one that would work well on your back or shoulder blade, thigh muscle, and I have 2 4-chambered ones that would work well to drape over a joint, shoulder. So for under $1, well, okay, over $1 with tax, I've got 3 well-functioning ice packs. And just to make them more fun, when I get digging through my fabric stash a little bit more, I may just make myself some cute covers for these. So I can slide over these to keep them clean, to help the fabric not wear, because I would imagine the rice rubbing on the inside is going to wear, as well as just the normal friction from the fabric being handled on the outside. So I'm going to make them some cute pillowcases. And that way I can change them out and keep these clean. But I need to go through my fabric stash to find that. Again, you can use socks if you don't have access to sewing supplies and things. Socks would work just well. It would still give you the same pliableness, and that's what I was looking for. You can use, like I did, rice. I have made them with uncooked elbow macaroni. That works just as well. The only reason I like this better, the rice better, is because it seems to hold the coldness better. Longer. Not better, longer. But I have them with uncooked elbow macaroni, and you could use dried beans. I guess those are your 3 main options. But this is another way to go if you don't want to use a package of frozen vegetables. And to me, that seems like a waste of food. All right, I thought I might as just well go ahead and use the fabrics that I made the original ice packs out of for the coverings. So I'm going to fold this over so I have 2. I'm going to make like a pillowcase. And we're going to allow some up here for folding over. Going to allow some here for a seam. And then I'm going to also just allow some up here. We're going to do the same thing as we did for the ice pack. We're going to fold this over. Well, actually, what I'm going to do first is to sew this edge down, because this edge is what's going to be the opening, and I'm going to sew snaps on it so I can just snap it shut. Now we're just going to go ahead and sew this shut. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the bulk off the corner. We're going to turn this inside out. And put our ice pack in here, just like a pillow. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put a snap here to keep it shut. And we have a nice covering for that. All right, so this is the one I made out of uncooked elbow macaroni. So I'm going to tighten this up a little bit because there's a lot of, because I don't know how I could, well, let's just try getting through here. See if I can go right down the middle here. Trying to work the macaroni off to the side. We did it. All right, let's go back down here. Tighten up our stitches a little. Try it again. Okay, we did it without breaking the needle or anything. So now we have, for the covering, we have this one now with 2 chambers. This is made out of the noodles, the macaroni. So what we're going to do is make a case for this. I think we'll sew it down this side here. I'm going to fold this over. And sew the hem. So I have that one with a case. The one made out of the dried or the uncooked elbow macaroni has got a case. The 4 chambered ones have each got cases. Now I'm going to take these snaps, and I believe I'm going to put 2 on each one to keep them shut. And when I get those all done, then I'll come back and I'll show you the completely finished product. So I have the snaps sewed on, and there's 2 on each one, and it will keep it clean and safely protected. It'll help against wear and tear. So there we go. We have 4 somewhat necessary items every house should have, is ice packs of some sort. And we made them in just an afternoon using a bag of rice and some leftover fabric scraps and notions. I'm going to take them up and throw them in the freezer so that the next time my family needs them, we're ready. I hope you guys have enjoyed this and are thinking maybe this is something you would like to try. And like I said, it's just whatever size you want to make them. There is no set size. You guys have a great afternoon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again for another project of some sort. Bye.